This, by the way, is one of the favorites of one of the chefs. There. It takes a while for it.
So many flavors, so much intensity.
And it's just, we just use the cheek. We don't use the brains. Kind of like myself. But anyway. Ahora sí vamos a probar la estrella de la quesabirria. Es el mole y el queso. Lo conseguimos de un lugar que se llama B&B. No te creas. Ese es. Pero cuando pruebes, es una tortilla hecha a mano. Le ponemos el queso chihuahua. Le agregamos la carne de chivo. ¿Sí? Lo doblamos. Y lo freímos. Y luego se le pone un poco de mole. Lightly fried. We don't dunk it or anything. It's just lightly fried. Como una enchilada.
Sí. Sí, con un poquito de aceite.
Le digo, si algún día abro un restaurante más grandecito, voy a poner micrófonos arriba del comal.
Para que todo el mundo...
Eso, que tú digas, oh my God, ¿qué está pasando? ¿No?
Pero no es necesario, se escucha muy bien, la verdad.
Aquí se escucha bien.
Aquí sí. Pero en el otro sería para traer la cocina acá afuera.
My God. Pero bueno, con ese sonido me recuerda mucho, regresamos a la memoria, ¿no? Transportación a México.
Sí, claro.
Estaba una señora que se llamaba Ramona y tenía su casa así de chiquita para atrás, ¿no? Pero su her living room, she would sit down and she would have a comal. Y se sentaba ella y she would wrap her head, you know, and you could see her face nice and greasy because of, el aceite. And we lived across the street. So my mother would say, go tell Ramona to send over 20 enchiladas for our family.
Sure.
So I would go there, señora Ramona, que mi mamá quiere 20 enchiladas, por favor. Sí, Juanito, no hay problema. Ahorita te las hago, hijo. So in the process, there was this one guy, his name was Jesus. He would walk in, and he had una tejana, one of those nice hats, and is well-dressed, and his boots. And, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, my God, that is so cool, you know? I'm a little guy. And I'm watching, and Ramona says, Chuy, lo mismo, the usual? And he goes, sí, Ramona, okay, what was the usual? So, right, I would grab my enchiladas, and I would wait. What was the usual?
Yeah, what was as usual?
Le daba 8 enchiladas a él, con repollo, bien, ¿sabe? Con rábanos, right?
Yeah.
Y salsita roja. Y luego un pedazo de cecina, which I didn't really try, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, man, that is so cool. But she would sit in their living room selling it from there.
Really?
Yeah.
So en pocas palabras, tú fuiste el que trajo el concepto de la quesabirria aquí al Medio Oeste, porque realmente eso no existía para nada.
Se hacía, pero no, en realidad no hacían mucho escándalo, ¿no? Entonces, cuando con la pandemia se hizo famosísima y aquí venían los del West Coast de California y ahí se sentaban, hey, Juan, ¿cómo estás? Vine acá, pero aquí viene mucha gente, venía pues mucha gente para checar. Y ahora que voy a diferentes lugares a saludarlos, pues tienen poquito de nosotros, which is good. A mí me da mucho. Pero esta es una de ellas, you know? Mi hermano una vez vino aquí, se sentó y dice, oye, no sé si quiere una quesadilla o una o birria. Y él me dice, oye, ¿no le podrías mixtear allí? And he really is the one who told me, who invented it, back when I got started. Y así le pusimos la birria quesadilla. ¿Lo ubicas?
Ese es el platillo favorito de mi hijo Emiliano.
Oye, pero mira, lo que me gusta a mí es mira, ese es lo que te dije, ¿da? Es el mole y el queso. No porque es esa actitud, pero es el sabor que le da. Y el mole que le ponemos acá afuera, no, olvídate.
Sí, eso es distinto, porque la verdad que la mayoría de las, no le ponen mole al exterior. Si acaso le ponen un poco de sazón o algo, pero sí, mole, no, no tanto.
Ellos le ponen lo que le cae al chivo, pero lo sazonan con... es un poquito... Está sabroso también, pero tiene más gordo, más aceite, más... Nosotros le tiramos más a la enchilada. Por eso, ese es como un taco, una enchilada y una quesadilla combinados.
Pues está muy sabroso, la verdad que muy sabroso. Y la verdad que se tiene que comer con los dedos.
No, tienes que, si no, no. Y ese es el consomé, es a base de tomate roma con 10 especias. Cuando llegan los vegetarianos es lo que comen.
Porque no tiene chivo.
Exacto.
Pues está muy sabroso. La verdad que si tú no me hubieras dicho que no tiene, if you hadn't told me that it does not have any goat, I really, honestly, it tastes very savory. It tastes, full flavored. It has, it holds its own against an intense flavor like this. So it really complements the whole dish overall. Because, sometimes it's just, that's part of the reason why they do the rendering from the fats from the goat, because that's a lot of flavor, it's a lot of intensity there. But you've done it in such a way that you didn't have to use those fats, and you're using something that's it has a little bit of oil in there clearly, so you do have to have it, because you have to have a conductor, something that transfers the flavors onto your palate. Otherwise, it's just going to roll off.
Yeah. Oh. What I was going to tell you is that a lot of people, like growing up, and when I was surveying people, do you like birria? When I first started, a lot of them said no. And then I would ask, why? Why don't you like birria? And they're like, many of them would like, I'm not sure. Interesting. But the more I investigated, 3 things. Number one is that when they were little, their uncle, their grandpa, or their dad, they butchered a goat in front of them. So that left a lasting impression, right? They're like, I don't want anything to do with that, Yeah. His name was Billy, and I'm not. Yeah. So then the other one is that they would cook it inside. And the smell is like menudo. It's pretty intense. So like, I want nothing to do with that smell. Do you know what I mean? So, and then the third one is when you eat it, it was way, way too gamey for them. So when I did the investigative work on that, I'm like...
Either you love that gaminess, or you don't want to have anything to do with the gaminess.
That's exactly right. But in the middle of both spectrums, you have a population that was like me, that they're like, I like it, but can you bring that down a little bit, Because the meat is so tender, so that's the recipe now. So now as a result of it, when people come here, they're like, I describe it more like it tastes like a pulled pork and a beef brisket, but it is goat. And I tell them ahead, Although some people come in, they say, don't tell them it's goat. Just let them eat it, then tell them,
So, yeah, because otherwise they won't eat it. Because in their mind, they're thinking, oh my God, no, I'm not going to like it. I don't, because they've had what they've had in the past. Really, it's definitely more of an acquired taste, that gaminess, that either you absolutely welcome it and are comfortable with it, or it's like, I don't like it. It's like people who don't like goat milk. I mean, goat milk, or even goat cheese for that matter.
Yeah.
I love both.
It's good for you.
It's good for you as well.
I like it.
It's closer to actually
the humans.
Human milk than any other milk. I think burro milk, or milk de leche de burro, I think is also pretty close to human. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So it has a lot of good characteristics about it, and that's why we serve it.
Beautiful. Well, I'm impressed. It's delicious, and this is really, really amazing.
Don't fill up, because they're...
No, I know. That's why I'm holding out. I'm holding out.
Now I'm gonna show you another one. Okay. This one here does come in a bowl. Okay. It's interesting because up on the north side, there's it's very diverse. We have Latinos. We have Chinese population.
I'll tell you, I've lived on the north side of Chicago my whole adult life. So talk about, like, even now I live closer to Rockford in a sense than even to Chicago right now. I live up in towards would be like Mundelein, Vernon Hills, and that kind of up in that area. That's where I'm at. But for my whole life, for the most part, up on the north side, where I'm very familiar with the Green Mill, familiar with all those different, very diverse areas. Absolutely.
My daughter played a concert there about 3 weeks ago. She has a rock band. They play nice rock.
They play nice rock.
In fact, she came in one time. She goes, "Hey, Dad, you know what? I'm gonna start up my own band." And I was in my office. I said, I was about to go into my spiel, like, I don't know if you want to do that. I think you should go here.
Yeah.
And I just took a deep breath, and I'm like, sounds pretty good. Just take care of yourself, and do the music, make sure it's nice. And when she left, I'm like,
that was the wise thing to do. As a father, that was the wise thing to do. I know it feels like it was counterintuitive, but I know where you're coming from.
That's exactly what. And I sat there in my chair. I'm like, what did I just say? But then I said it because I didn't listen to my parents. I took off, like I said, going to play out in West Coast, etc. So she's doing something that she loves. Great band, by the way. Ann Fang, she's good.
What's the name?
Ann Fang, like A-N and then like Fang.
Okay, Ann Fang. Beautiful.
She got a really nice voice, man. Kind of sounds like a mixture of old school Pat Benatar and some of those. Yeah, but yeah. I asked her sometimes, hey, canta una canción en español, Rocío Dúrcal. And she has a really nice.
She does?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah. But her heart is in the rock. Yeah. So we saw her at the Green Mill. That's why I was telling you.
Okay.
It was next door, so I went over there and I'm sitting there watching her. They're so good.
Yeah, you definitely want. I know for my kids, that's exactly has been my philosophy. I want them to find their place in the world and do what they enjoy. Honestly, life is too short, and it's all about finding your passion. I think, and kind of and it may take until you're 40. It could take until you're 50. You just never know. But life it's never too late to really try to make a difference and be something that you want to be, regardless. Being true to yourself. That's right now my whole philosophy at 63 years of age is being true to yourself in any which way, because life is too short.
Yeah, the truth will set you free, free of all this stuff, confusion. But I was telling you, so I'm coaching one of my kids. This guy made me a grandpa, unexpected.
This guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But anyway, so Tony, so now we have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter who changed our lives, So sure, there's something. There's always something good in everything, right?
Absolutely.
But on one occasion, when he was younger, I said, Tony, you really have to try to focus here, there. And he goes, Dad, what were you doing at my age? And then my tape went quickly. I said, we're talking about you, Tony.
Yeah. Yes.
But once he left, I'm like, yeah. So you're right. It's like they need to get out there and experience it and hope that they're doing the right thing. Have faith and,
Absolutely. And you know what? The only way we learn in life is we have to make mistakes. And knowing that you have the ability to come home, knowing the fact that I know for me, my family, my kids know, hey, this is your house as well, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to be there for you. Family is everything for us. It really is. And empowering them, letting them go out there and fail, because that's kind of what you need to do in life, to learn, to really learn. Because you can read all you want in books, you can all these different things that help you, give you good foundational information, structure. But at the end of the day, once you're out there, you got to fall on your face every so often. You have to.
I didn't learn that till late in life, because I was telling my wife, I never drop anything. For some reason, I never. I told you I used to play baseball, so you don't drop things there. You have to catch everything, right? So I'm catching everything. But when I do drop things, before I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? I would, complain on the way down. I'm like, what am I thinking, right? So now when I drop things, right, I don't complain anymore about that. I complain of the fact that now I have to squat. I don't know. My back, my knee.
It's better to squat than to bend down, so that's a good thing. You're using your legs. So you're doing it the proper way. You're using your legs instead of your back.
Different world altogether. We learn, like you said, you live and learn. So I'm 61, you're 63. You don't look 63.
Yeah, 63, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, yeah.
I try to take care of myself. I do cold plunges every day for the most part. Yeah, I do.
It resets you, right?
Yeah, resets you. I don't know if you've had a chance or have ever done it. You should try it if you haven't.
I know the theory behind it, but when I touch the water, I'm not a polar bear, man.
Well, you can ease your way into it slowly, but it can help you. It's an amazing experience.
It is. It works. But Gilbert, I'm telling you, man, I'm the guy that's it's almost boiling, and I'm like, is it ready? Yeah, it's ready.
Okay.
My wife told me about that. She goes, try it. It's supposed to be good. So I start like, all right, it's colder, colder. And I'm feeling like this is pretty cold. And she was telling me you need it. You need it. Yeah. So I've done it a couple times, but I'm sure it's not anything as near as like.
Oh no! Well, believe me, when I started, it was in the shower, and it's just you go from regular, nice, cold, warm, comfortable, and then slowly you just start to, at the end, maybe for a minute or 30 seconds, whatever you can feel comfortable with, and then slowly but surely, and then eventually, I just started taking showers 100% in cold water, and it feels, initially you feel it, but then your body gets used to it and feels comfortable. And then now not only do I do that, but then I fill up my bathtub and get in there for at least 10 minutes, sometimes 20, depending on the time. And sometimes I just jump in for 5 minutes. If that's all I have, I get in there and I just do that.
Bam, it gets you going. I know it works. Yeah, maybe I can jump in there with a blanket or something. Hey, my uncle, man. My uncle's a retired colonel from the Air Force in Mexico, and he goes, "Oh yeah." I said, "Hey, Tío Manuel, so is it true that you guys that take showers and get out?" He goes, "Oh yeah, you had 2 minutes, and if you didn't get out, man, and don't even think about warm water." He says, "You gotta go in there."
Yeah.
A la Guadalajara.
I've gone into the rivers in Mexico. I mean, it's in agua fría. I mean, it's está helada. I mean, it's ice cold. Yeah, you feel it to the bone.
Yeah, that's why I like Puerto Rico. Ahí el agua está bien calientita.
No, but in Mexico, sí, you get into a river, está helado. It's just cold. I mean, I'm sure it's here too, but I'm saying even there, when I've had the opportunity, it's chilly. It's cold.
Where you in Mexico? Where do you visit mostly?
You know what? I don't go super often, but Mexico City, Michoacán, pretty much. Guadalajara, those are the areas.
Yeah, we go to Zapopan there in Guadalajara. I like cenadurias. I love cenadurias, man. Pozole, tostadas, and all that. And I go to the best ones there. It's all about the food and tequila, So, you want to try that last plate?
Yes, absolutely.